Story 1. The night everything fell apart. It was a summer night when I was jolted awake by the sound of glass breaking. At first I thought maybe one of the kids had dropped something in the kitchen, but then I heard footsteps, slow, heavy, deliberate. Before I had time to react, 2 men were on me. They tied me up and dragged me into the basement. From there I could only hear what was happening above. My wife's voice trembling, my daughter's crying, the sound of drawers slamming, cupboards being ripped open. At one point they forced my wife to leave with one of them. I didn't know why at the time. Later I learned they made her withdraw money. She came back, and for a moment, I thought maybe it would all end there. But then I smelled it, the sharp, choking scent of gasoline. They weren't leaving. They were going to destroy everything. I fought against my restraints until my skin tore. Somehow I managed to break free and crawl out of the basement. I stumbled outside, screaming for help. Just as flames began to eat away at the house, my wife and daughters never came out. I was the only one who did. To this day, I wake up at night to phantom footsteps on the stairs. Story: held hostage with my baby. It was the middle of the night and my baby had finally fallen asleep beside me. I woke up to the sound of glass crunching under heavy boots. At first I thought I was dreaming, until I felt the weight of someone climbing on top of me. A knife pressed against my throat. A man's voice hissed in my ear telling me not to scream or my baby would pay for it. My whole body went numb, but I couldn't stop shaking. He tied my wrists, then waved the knife toward the crib. He didn't have to say much. Every threat was clear. He tore through my house, grabbing whatever he could. Then he forced me outside and into his car. I was barefoot, terrified, clutching onto the thought of my baby as he drove aimlessly. Every turn felt like it was leading me further from safety, from life itself. Hours later, just as suddenly as it began, he dumped me on the side of the road and drove off. When the police finally found him through DNA evidence, all I could think about was how easily it could have ended with my baby gone, with both of us dead. Even today, I can't sleep without every door locked, every window checked twice. Story: the all-day farmhouse. We lived far from town, surrounded by fields and woods. That isolation felt peaceful, until the night it didn't. They came, looking for guns, for money, but what they did was so much worse. They stormed our farmhouse with weapons in hand. The men in my family tried to fight back, but they were outnumbered. One by one they were forced down, tied and shot. The sound of gunfire in the house that had always been our sanctuary was deafening. I was frozen, watching as they dragged my sister Mary away. Her screams echoed down the hall, then faded as they shoved her into a car. Later, I learned she never made it back. By morning, 6 members of my family were dead. Only a handful of us survived to tell what happened. To this day, when I walk through that old farmhouse, I can still hear the echoes of that night. Story 4: the experiment. I was asleep in my bed when I woke up to voices, young, male, cruel voices. My door creaked open, and silhouetted against the hall light were 2 figures, one holding a machete. Before I could scream, the blade came down. Pain exploded through my body as I was slashed again and again. My mom tried to fight them off, but the blows were too much. She went down, and I knew, somehow, I was next. But I didn't die. Somehow, through dozens of wounds, I stayed conscious. I lay there, pretending to be gone, listening to them laugh and whisper to each other. One of them said something I'll never forget, that it was all just an experiment. When they finally left, I crawled for the phone, leaving a trail of blood behind me. The police told me later that what I survived was one of the most brutal home invasions they'd ever seen. I still have scars across my body, but none of them are as deep as the ones in my mind. Story 5: the night visitor. I was living alone at the time in a small house on the edge of town. It wasn't the safest neighborhood, but I'd never had any real trouble. That changed. One night in 2011, I was in bed when I woke up to a sound that instantly froze me. The unmistakable squeak of my back door opening. I grabbed my phone, but before I could dial, I heard footsteps on the hardwood floor getting closer. I tried to convince myself maybe it was a roommate or a neighbor, but then the beam of a flashlight swept across my bedroom wall. My heart stopped. The man stepped inside. I could see the outline of a crowbar in his hand. He didn't say a word, just stood there, scanning the room, his breathing heavy. I slid under my bed, clutching the phone. Trying not to make a sound as I dialed 911, the dispatcher told me to stay hidden. Every second felt like an hour as I listened to him moving through my house, opening drawers, knocking things over, muttering under his breath. At one point, he crouched low enough that I saw his shoes just inches from my face. The sound of sirens finally broke the silence. He bolted. By the time police arrived, he was gone, leaving my front door wide open. They never caught him. To this day, I don't know who he was or what he wanted. But sometimes when I'm trying to fall asleep, I swear I can still hear those slow, heavy footsteps on my floor.